So hopefully by now y'all came to the realization that I just do these whenever and wherever. So about respectability politics and why they don't work. This one might be a shorter one just because I am kind of doing something and it's not the quietest. But when it hits my mind, I just press record. Like that's what I learned to do. So I want my thoughts recorded, and I want it to come out as pure as possible, so you guys get exactly what I'm saying. You see exactly who I am and through what I say, and hopefully you learn something. Because I love to learn, and I love being educated. That's why I self-learn, and I never shy away from learning from others. I don't think I know everything. The first thing in learning is to know that you know nothing. No matter how much you learn, there will still be an infinite amount of things you still don't know. But there is value in growing. So, I want to talk about respectability politics because I just had kind of a realization. Because I was watching black people, on YouTube, and they were talking about how, and I've heard this for a while, how it doesn't work and how it's a bad thing and how it's not. And, all that, like, pull up your pants, look presentable, be respectable, that kind of thing, which cut your locks, have a little fade, straighten your hair, wear a wig, slap on a wig, wear weave, get some tracks, be closer to Eurocentric standards of beauty, do good, get a high-paying job, have a great education, all those things, right? Because you'll be respected. Although we know that only money buys respect, I want to stick to this real quick. So the reason why those things don't work and how we know that those things don't work. So yeah, we know it doesn't work because back in the day, the 60s, 1900s, the 1960s to 1970s, black people, especially back a prime example, I'll give you 1 year, 1921. The Tulsa massacre, it's not a riot, it was a massacre where over 300, some sources, like a lot of reliable sources say over 300 people were killed, thousands left homeless. And let me just give you some history on Tulsa, if you don't know about it. It was in Watchmen, the first episode, the opening, which I'm so glad they put that in there because now way more people know about it. Those black people, it was a predominantly black city with hundreds of black businesses, theaters, just whatever you can think of, restaurants. They had it all. Like, the whole city was ran by black people, and it was one of the most successful cities in America at that time. They nicknamed it Black Wall Street because of how much it was thriving, how well it was doing, and flourishing. Those black people wore suit and ties. They were very educated, produced some of the best creators, actors, mathematicians, scientists. They did all that. Had a great wealth there too. But wealth it's like wealth can only take you so far. If you're black, wealth can only take you so far. So they were respectable and they didn't sag. They didn't curse as much as we do now. They were all professional, very, very respectable in everything that means, except their skin color, of course. those people. And they still got beaten, dragged down the streets, hung, shot up, children killed. They still got slaughtered by white people, by the Ku Klux Klan, by their poor neighbors in their neighboring communities. The predominant white people came over. They were jealous, they were racist, and they were envious, and they came over to our respectable community and they butchered it. They burned it down. They attacked it for 18 hours straight. We got no help from the government at all. It was planes involved, private aircrafts dropping bombs from above, trucks, shotguns, automated rifles, all these things. And then in the same year, the following year, we got 22 Oklahoma City bombing, where it was 2 white men involved. They think that it was more involved, but he wouldn't give them up. The 2 that they caught, they wouldn't give up more people, and one was just trying to take all the blame. Dropped a bomb on a state building, killed 9 children, like 20-some adults, injured about 100. Like, the whole thing is demolished. It's like, it was like 9/11 before 9/11, but nobody gives a darn. Nobody cares, because nobody talks about it. I never learned about it in history class. I bet a bunch of y'all don't even know about it. Like, they don't. But see, again, it was predominantly black people, and that's why if it was a bunch of white people, white kids, white Asian kids, it would have made national news, because I bet if 9/11 happened and it was all black people in that building, it would not be such a big deal. And if the bombers were, which they used to plane just like they did in 9/11, perhaps if the bombers were Muslim, it would be a bigger deal. You know, because no airway trafficking regulations happened when that happened. So we got black people, and it was a white person who did it, just like the mass shooters. So nowadays, predominantly white mass shooters. Like, and I feel like I just learned about this recently, and I feel so disrespected that happened, the Oklahoma City bombing. A big building full of people got bombs, and it's not talked about in schools. It's not, nobody cares, you know. And in the 60s at Rosewood, Florida, there was also another massacre to a black community. That was Rosewood. That was the black community in the 60s. Tulsa happened 99 years ago. And this happened in the 60s. These are not forever ago. And we're having mass shootings right now. I just wonder, why don't we take the same precautions and take it just as serious when it's domestic terrorism from white people than we do if it's a Muslim, if it's a black person, if it's anybody else, if it's somebody from a different country, because y'all from Europe. We get real serious then, but we wonder why things continue to happen. You know, the right people aren't in power. That's why it continues to happen. And back to respectability politics, it doesn't matter, like I said in my other video, it doesn't matter what I achieved. If I achieved nothing, if I'm a poor black man, homeless, bum, you still gonna respect me, or we're gonna have a problem. Because it's like it doesn't matter. It's equal. Because guess what? Because black people who pull up their pants, get a Ivy League education and a high paying job, will still get beat in the streets, will still get stopped and harassed by the cops, will still get shot by the cops, will still be hung, massacred, like butchered, everything because of the country we live in. But it's the greatest country in the world. Yeah, right. Okay, so and I hate when people say it, because it's like, just because the base we have, that doesn't mean it's the greatest thing ever. That doesn't mean it's beyond reproach. I can be here, and I can also realize that it has a lot of issues, even though other countries may have more. But I'm like, what are we comparing it to when we say the greatest in the world? Did Canada ever have slaves? Like, I know they have racism all over the globe, but did Canada ever have slaves? I don't think so. But I want somebody to make a video and outline, like, logically and unbiasedly, why America is the greatest country in the world. Because people make money over here? Because we have big celebrities over here? Because we're so obsessed with greed and hoarding wealth, generational wealth, which is mainly controlled by white people, not black people. Black people are on the bottom. So from a black perspective, it's not the greatest country in the world. Like, that's an opinion. You can't logically outline why it's the greatest compared to every other country. Literally, we don't even have free health care. People are dying on the side of the road. People are going into large debt because they don't want to because they're hurt and they're sick. And a lot of these jobs, people act like it's just so easy to get a job that give you benefits. No, the heck it's not. I'm working a job right now and I don't have benefits. Like, luckily, like, a relative of mine had me on their plan, but I still have to pay a freaking copay. And I'm like, I would never, I avoid going to getting insurance all my life that I have to pay for out of my own pocket, because it's not worth it for me. Like, and when even with Obamacare, that was trash too, in my opinion, because I went through there. They tried to charge me like $400 or $500 a month. Who is paying that? Not me. That's not. I don't care if it was $2,000 a month before that. This is ridiculous. They both outrageous. It doesn't matter how worse the other thing was. This is still really bad. Like, that was really, 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 really bad. And this is really, really, really bad. And I don't even go every month. Like, I feel like it's a way we can do this to where it's beneficial to everybody. But it doesn't want to be beneficial to everybody. They want to make money. They don't care if you're in perfect health. Yeah, it might be a little lower for you. I'm in perfect health. I don't have anything wrong with me. And they still try to give me that amount of money. They still try to make me pay $400 or $500 a month for health insurance. And I might go to the hospital once a year, if at all. Like, last year I literally went once. And people will stay at home and just die, because doctors nowadays, they just send you home anyway. Like, black women are dying. Because they go to the doctor, and then the doctor turn them away and tell them there's nothing wrong with them, and they go home and die a few hours later. And the doctors didn't even run any tests. They ran tests and they didn't run the right tests. Like, and they were talking about, if we do universal health care, the quality is going to go down. Well, that's the choice on the doctor. If they choose to do a bad job, or worse one than they already doing, because they're not getting millions of dollars, a billion, they're not getting paid as much, then they shouldn't be doctors. You shouldn't be a doctor to make money. You should be a doctor to help people. So it wouldn't matter how much you're getting paid. you'll still do the best job you can. So that's a problem. That's a problem for who we making doctors if they're not gonna do a good job because they're not paying as well. So I'm not trying to hear that. And this whole thing, like, not everybody. If everybody worked equally as hard, there will still be poor people. There will still be a minimum wage. That's why we have it. There'll still be a poor. There'll still be a lower class. There'll still be a middle class. There'll still be an upper class. If everybody was equally working as hard, like, you think there's not all servers are gonna disappear from restaurants because a lot of these people, they work just as hard and harder than a lot of these celebrities out here. Like, you don't. Single mothers that work 2 jobs, 50 hours, 60 hours a week, work way harder than a lot of these millionaires. I don't care how many people they talk to. Just because you're making more money doesn't mean you're working harder. Like, that's a misconception. And it doesn't matter how white respectable you are, it doesn't give you any protection. You can, like, money gives you some protection, but that only goes so far, like I said. But rappers, like look at rappers, like look at Uzi, look at Tekashi 69, like a lot of rappers that dress a fool, that look a mess. People respect them still because of their talent and because of they have money. It's really only because of money and women, which I don't use the H word. I don't call them bees. I don't do any of that. But that's what they do. They having sex all the time and they making money, so they respected by other men, black and white alike. Like, it's just a shallow ass society. But I just wanted to come on here and make this because I was thinking, like, you're right, person. Like, I've been hearing people say that, and I was like, I've come up with examples on why it's true, but it's like, yeah, you should respect yourself, but what does respecting yourself mean? Like, people tell us what self-respect is, like, and it's always tied to materialism for the most part, but actions and behaviors too is the other parts. But if you're being yourself and somebody feels that you're not being respectable, first of all, being respectable and having self-respect are two different things. You can have self-respect for yourself and people will not find you respectable. They find pro-black people, some people find pro-black people who are well-educated unrespectable. Like, that's a perception upon who a perception of the beholder. So I just, like, it doesn't matter. You should always have self-respect for yourself and also self-love and self-esteem. Don't push that, but they push self-respect, or not even self-respect, self-respectability. They push the self-respectability, but respectability policies, but don't push self-esteem, self-respect. We don't hear any of that in music or in media. It's very rare to see that. Just being yourself. Like, they try to manipulate who we are for their pleasure. And I'm not here for it. I'm gonna wear what I want to, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna act how I want to. I'm gonna say what I want to, whether you like it or not. And a lot of people will find me respectable, but I don't care what other people think of me. I care most what I think of myself and what God thinks of me. I'm a believer. If you have a problem with that, go. But I live my life for God, not for other people. I live my life for myself and for my God. So, so I don't care about everybody else's perception of me. I'm worried about, am I doing the right thing? Am I living up to my morals and my standards, not anybody else's? And I wish everybody else would do the same. But don't follow these respectability policies. They will not help you. They will not protect you. They will not earn you respect. It'll give you a false sense of respect in the end. I'm telling you. But yeah, they'll call you the N-word. They'll still kick you while you're down. They'll still turn on you. They'll still betray you. Even if you have money and respect, or have respectability, or self-respect. But it won't matter as much as long as you're trying to make sure you're respecting yourself as much as possible in your own mind. And you have that foundational self-esteem within yourself. Like, if I blow up, I don't care if a million people coming for my throat in the comments and stuff. I'm not even going to see them. I'm going to be too busy living my life and doing more what I want to do. So, people just... This goes to all people, really. Respectability politics won't help you. Just have your self-respect and you'll go a long ways. Thank you for listening. And I'll talk to you later.